You're not the way. When you learn how to become the way, there it is. And that's what I want to teach. I want to teach you to become the way every day of every moment. Because understand something. Superman's not coming. But you'll just keep on giving hope, right? Because that's what it's all about, right? Have faith, have hope in others. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. It's all about having faith and knowing, not hoping. Faith in yourself and knowing that you're the one. You're the one that you look for. You're the one that's going to save the day, that's going to save every moment. Because I'm going to tell you something, unless you're present in each moment, and understand something, that's a masterwork in itself, isn't it? Because we know that we're only present 2% and that okay, did you know this? You're going to love this. 5% of the population is only 5% in the present moment. Did you know that the other 95% is only present 2% of the day? And that's why you're never the present. That's why when you open up that box, that present, there's nothing in it. Because if you aren't in the present moment, which is your conscious mind, then you're not creating. So think about it. 95 to 98% of the day, you're not creating something. What you're doing is you're a doing. You're not a being, and you're allowing someone else to create your day. Now, whether you want to believe this or not, I don't care how many pills you take, how many potions you take, all right? The reality is, until you uncover your unlimited potential, because we all have unlimited potential. The one thing that we can do is we can grow consciously every day. We can expand on that every day. And understand this, as I've said a million times, is this: the image you have about yourself, the image you have about your family, about the world itself is going to create the world you have. I don't know. I just look at it this way. I'm getting stronger every day. And I'm understanding something. I'm understanding that if you don't feed the spirit, you don't heal the body. It's temporary, And understand something. It's about this. When it comes to supplementation or therapies, it's all about what? It's all about frequency. It's all about vibration. So the higher the vibration is with the supplement, the higher the vibration is with the therapy, the higher the vibration is with the energy medicine, if you're doing energy medicine. But then it's all energy medicine. And guess what the best energy medicine is? It's yourself. So when you can actually uncover the authentic self, then you will have the best energy medicine in the world. I truly know that I have the power to heal myself, and I truly know that I will never have a disease. Now you can say that, oh my gosh, don't say that. You're jinxing yourself. Well, no, I'm not, because I know who I am. And the reality is once you know who you are, then you will unleash that unlimited potential. So in talking about that, okay, what we're going to be doing tomorrow is we're going to start the Advanced Water Fasting Challenge. Now understand something. This is not a water fast, but it is a water fast. But understand something. The best water fast in the world is using structured water, because that's nature's water. And the second thing to that is making sure that you're using products that are high in frequency, that won't turn on your digestive tract, but will create that magic carpet for you. So whether or not you want to do 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6 day, or even go further, understand something. What everybody does is everybody gets panicked, right? Oh, I can't bite off 6 days. I have 3 meals and 3 snacks every day. And every time that I'm upset or I have anxiety, I got to stuff it down with food. Well, that's why we gain weight, right? We gain weight because we're trying to stuff it down. We can't digest these emotions. So what we do is we suppress our emotions by what? Loading ourselves down with food. So we're going to be taking a look at what fasting's all about. And understand something, and I need you to get this, everyone, and this is the truth. I've been doing 1 meal a day, okay? And I will tell you this. So last night, I had some grain. I had grain at my meal, and I had some steamed spinach. But 5 days in a row, all I did was I had a salad, and I'll take a picture of it, and I'll put it up on Instagram or on Facebook, and I'll show you. It's almost the same salad all the time. He puts different things in it. But my salad bowl, honest to gosh, my salad bowl's this big, right? So that's my one meal a day. Now, I do have a blender drink that I'm working on right now. I do fulvic acid. I do SAC calcium. I do some of my other nutritionals. But the reality is this. If you want to be a lean, keen, okay, all right, healthy, okay, quick on your feet, human machine, that's what you got to do. You can't load yourself down with things that aren't your business, and you can't load yourself down with food. Even good food, eating too much good food, supposedly good food, is going to overload the system. All right? So let's get going. This is not the fasting day. That's tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you can't watch it, go to YouTube, and you'll find that it's time-stamped, okay, for you the next day. All right? Now, tomorrow, I'm going to be going over the rules on water fasting. Okay, and then I'll be taking a few questions at the end. And then what's happening is tomorrow's Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'll get on at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'll do all the questions, whether about fasting or health or emotional or anything, or you just want to challenge me. Go ahead. I'm here for you, and you can challenge me. I'm okay with that. Because you need to challenge me, you got to challenge yourself, and you got to challenge everybody else that supposedly is supposed to look after you. Okay? Now, and then Saturday and Sunday, we take a break, right? And then Monday and Tuesday, I'll be back on at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to answer your questions again, okay? So just know that. So that means that next Monday, there will not be a Q&A in the afternoon. There'll just be the Q&A along with the fasting kind of blended together, and it'll be Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then that'll be aired if you want to check it out, okay? All right? So everybody, you can send in your questions right now. So this is Q&A day. You can send them in on YouTube, Intercom, Facebook. All right. And I will be taking the live ones first. And I just want you to know something. You know, sometimes I say things to people and they, it freaks them out. This is not about freaking you out. You know, you don't want to get caught with your pants down. Nobody does. Okay. And the reality is that things are going to get better, everyone. But understand something. Things are going to get worse until they get better, until you are going to take massive personal action, okay? All right? And take control of your present moment and look after that beautiful temple of yours that houses your spirit. Things are only going to get worse, okay? So now you can think, well, that's not nice, Darrell. Well, I'm not trying to be not nice. The reality is until you take responsibility of your God-given gift, which is that temple, is your earth temple that houses your spirit, you know, if you don't look after that, you're choking your spirit off, okay? So just know that. Just know it. You are, okay? So I'm getting older in age, supposedly, every day, but why am I getting more powerful? And why do I feel younger? Because the spirit feeds the body, okay? So send in your questions, everyone. All links to your take action information I'm going to be doing today. If you look at the end, okay, it's not a commercial. And understand something. I want everybody to get this. You will never see a commercial on my shows. And you'll never see a commercial on my YouTube either. That's never going to happen. I don't care. Even if I get like 500,000 views, it's not going to happen. If I get 1 million views, it's not going to happen. All right? The last thing you need is commercials, all right? The first thing you need is for me to try to be as integral as possible, all right? Okay, so send in your questions. Everybody, I'm just going to let you know that the borders are going to be opening up. So personal treatment and trainings are going to be opening up. You can come to us. We can go to you. Take a look at my personal treatment training guide on my library. And let me just say this. You spend a week with us and we'll change your life for the rest of your life. And I give you a guarantee on that. I give you a guarantee that you will not be shaking in your boots anymore and you will not ever go, I'm not sure what to do right now. Let's go to emergency. No. Stop turning yourself into an emergency and start turning yourself into that hero that you've been looking for. All right. Upcoming courses will be in Orlando, Florida, Omni 5-star Resort. It's only going to be $115 a night. If you want to come there and take the course starts September 12th, okay, and goes to September 18th, the Whole Life Coach. And then the Wolfe Non-Surgical Deep Tissue starts on the 20th of September and goes to October the 2nd, all right? And just so you know, it'll be limited. But if you're interested in coming and getting a consultation live, or if you're interested in getting Wolfe non-surgical deep tissue, where we give you a money-back guarantee that first treatment is going to do more than all the other treatments. And if you think you got to get surgery, I'm telling you, in 99 out of 100 times, you don't. And if you think you've got to have that cane, that walker, you don't. All right? And I'm telling you that. Understand this. My business is to show you to mind your own business, and you take personal action. You will turn almost every illness around. And I mean almost every illness. And I only say that because if you can't change your thoughts, and if you can't love and honor yourself enough to follow the instructions that we have, then of course it's not going to work. But I will tell you this much. Tell me that you're booked for surgery, and I'll work on your knee, we'll work on your hip, we'll work on your spine. And guess what? See if you don't feel like canceling that surgery. Because understand, when they tell you that there's no tissue left in that joint, in between that vertebrae, in that hip, understand something. They can't see it because it's calcified. And we're going to uncover that because we know how. All right? So November the 28th till December the 18th, you're going to see us in Palm Springs. Again, we're going to be at the Omni Resort. If you want to come for treatments or you want to come for a consultation, you can book just that if you want. You can come for a few days if you want. And you can get the discounted value. I think it's like $250 a night for a room. It's a 5-star resort for $115. And those of you who want to come and take the courses there, just know that we are limited. We do not have, we tap out, okay? So we will not take more than 20 people in a course. And it's less for my whole life coach in-person training. We're going to be in Extapa in February, so you might want to come and join us. We're going to do all the courses there, but we're also going to do what's called a 33-day awakening program, okay? So let's begin the show, all right? Number one, Yvette. Hi, Yvette. How are you? Hi, doctor. If I'm taking the humic acid and fulvic acid, do I need to take the tummy love? No, but what you can do, if, let's just put it this way. Okay, so if you're looking at getting a combination of both, and to help to restore the good bacteria in your tummy, which would be mummy's bacteria, because that's the only bacteria that counts, not all the bacteria that you take in internally, because that's never going to restore it. It might make things a little better, but it's not going to do it. The tummy love is the way to go. So understand, environment dictates the health of your bacteria, and I would look at Daily Cleansing Tea, Tummy Love Black Gold, and you're going to rock your world. Now, if you're looking at someone who's worried about viruses, then I'd be taking a look at the Humic and increasing that with our Humic liquid concentrate. And if you're somebody that's dealing with heavy metal poison and high acidity, then I'd look at doing the Fulvic liquid concentrate and doing a little bit more of that. But my go-to is always tummy love. You know, I don't have myself in trouble. And the other thing is I already know that viruses they don't contaminate other people. That's just made up BS, dysfunctional belief system. Meanwhile, the whole world's just running crazy over it. So the reality is I don't worry about, like, viruses. Viruses are just the end product of a toxic cell. So, you know, you can believe what you want, but the reality is I am right. And that's that. This time I'm right, and I am happy. Most times I'll say, hey, you can be right, and I'll stay happy. But I'm happy because I am right, because I know that I'll never, ever have a viral infection, because that's the craziest thing anybody ever talked about. So I would always... Yvette, I would try to go towards the tummy love, unless you needed to lean for those two reasons into the other. Let me explain it. So the fulvic concentrate, it will actually carry up to 40 different nutrients into the cells. This is all in the on the library in the Humic Fulvic Guide, and you can find it all. And I didn't make this up. Okay, everything that's in the Humic Fulvic Guide was actually researched by real research, not by Dr. Wolfe and his little, you know, mix it, match it, okay? So you'll actually see in there that the fulvic can carry in 40 different nutrients into the cells, and it collects the nutrients that are already in the body. Then what it does, it dumps that off, and then it'll pick up 3 times its weight in heavy metals and acidity out of your cells. Pretty important, eh? That's why fulvic, the fulvic concentrate liquid, is known as the world's greatest chelator. And then the humic, it helps with hormonal balance. Okay, very important. And understand something, but hormonal balance is mainly disrupted because of a large intestine absorbing your own waste. And nobody wants to talk about that because there's no money in it. I mean, daily cleansing tea to having to take hormones, come on. Or having to take tons of herbs to try to play around with your hormones, come on. So the humic will actually help for putting a coating around the virus so that it doesn't spread from cell to cell, which, yeah, it does do that. But the reality is only sick people get viruses, right? You know, I have viruses in me all the time, but it doesn't mean that they're going to take me down. It's like everything else. I mean, we take bad bacteria and we actually take worms into our body every day through the food, but it doesn't take us down because healthy bodies, they have an environment that says, hey, you can't live here. All right? Next one, Amanda. Would you recommend the water fast for someone who has coronavirus? Okay, so I'm not telling you I know anything, but this is what I know. If I had the coronavirus, right, I'm not going to recommend anything to anybody. When I talk, okay, I want everybody to get this. When somebody asks me a question, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you that if I had this condition, this is what Darrell would do. That's all. Now, why am I doing that? Well, he's trying to protect himself. No, because that's the way you should be anyways. Because guess what? Whether you want to believe this or not, I don't care what condition you got, constipation to cancer, it's all based on your thoughts, okay? I know for one thing that if I had the coronavirus and I could do the fasting, but what the heck, eh? So if somebody else did the coronavirus and they didn't believe that the fasting was going to help or the fasting was dangerous, why would I tell them to do it? So the reality is if you have faith in something but the reality is you'd have to have faith in yourself. You'd have to okay, this is what I really love. You know what I mean? God will heal us. Well, let me just tell you this. You've got to make massive personal action. And you know what? If it wasn't for my creator, I know that I wouldn't heal anything. So I understand that. But the reality is I've got everything I need. And if I don't believe in myself, right, then I'm not going to heal anyway, or it's going to be very temporary. So, it's teamwork that makes the dream work. So, where were we here? So the coronavirus, well, it all depends on what you believe. I mean, come on, everybody's wearing basically just linen around their mouth and they actually think it's helping them. It's the craziest thing. If you took a glass of water and you dropped a pin into a glass of water, that's how fast a virus will go through these masks that everybody's wearing. Okay? So you're not, okay, so if I can say this, we're not dealing with the coronavirus. We're dealing with the emotional condition that people are in. Okay, so that's the problem that we have here. You know, most people were on the edge when things were going good. And now that, and somebody said, don't call them the elite. Yeah, I don't want to call them the elite either. I want to call them the sick. Okay, they're not the elite, they're the sick. So the sick have been planning this for a long time, right? And they knew that people never worked on their emotions. And they also knew people watched a lot of TV and that people always get caught up in drama. And they also knew that the subconscious mind is easy to manipulate and that fear is actually the disease. So that's the epidemic that's going on. So the reality is when you're telling me, would I fast if I had a coronavirus problem? Of course I would. Because why? Because when you fast, but I wouldn't just do a water fast. I'd use structured water, I'd use ATP, I'd use Ormus minerals, and I would use fulvic acid, okay, and I would use SAC calcium because none of those things turn on the digestive tract. They bring up your vibration, and if you know, and I'm going to go through the products tomorrow and tell you what they do. So the reality is I can do a water fast and get 10 times the result if I do an advanced water fast. And the reality is that any viral, bacterial, fungal problem, it's going to go down. Because when you do a water fast, an advanced water fast, you release more stem cells than anything else in the world. We know that people release enough stem cells to totally turn around the most impossible. So when you do a fast, you know what? The impossible becomes I am possible. And that is it. That's the story. So that's what we're looking at. So, and the other thing is when you fast, you shut down your digestive tract, which takes more energy than anything else. Because guess what? You eat 3 meals a day. You can walk. What can you do? You can to eat 3 meals a day. The energy it takes, you could use 10-mile walk with that. So I know you don't want to believe me, but guess what? I only had a half a blender drink today, and I had 3 quarts of water with Fulvic, and I had an SAC calcium, and I took a couple of my other supplements, which I don't want to go into. And the reality is, how am I doing? How am I looking? Okay, do I look like I'm weaning here? All right, I'm not. The day that you know that you were created by that which created the universe is the day that you're going to get your power back. Oh, the day that I would actually really start to see the world change, eh? Wouldn't that be something? Okay, understand that. All right, but you know, these guys have planned this for a long time, and they're like a bunch of spoiled little babies, and they're going to have the huge tantrum. So if we even push back a little bit, they're going to try to push at us, right? So, you know, for the brave hearts, we're out here alone, okay? Because as soon as they push back a little bit, everybody's going to need Depends, because not everybody, but a lot of people are going to crap their drawers, right? Because the end of the world's coming, as we know it, okay? Mary, is it best to do an enema in the morning after you wake or at night before you bed? Okay, Mary, when is the most peaceful time in your life? When you're connected to your breath and you're not thinking about what needs to get done, what you need to do for others. So when is that time? That is the time. That is the time when you have that peaceful time. And you know, if we could actually get it in our heads that the first hour of the day is called the hour of power, the last one is called the hour of power, which means if you want your power back, you turn the power off on the TV and everything else, the computer, because that's how you get your power back. Anybody that watches TV before they go to bed, you know what? No wonder you're messed up. No wonder you can't sleep. All right? If you connected to your breath, if you prayed, if you meditated, if you did some really great stretching, like the pelvic activation squats, like the belly button therapy, all right? If you really connected to your breath and did the lion heart breathing, everything will change. So the reality is this. If I was going to do an enema, I would do the belly button therapy. I'd do the pelvic squats first. Okay, I would connect to my breath, and I'd make sure the phone was turned off, the TV was turned off, the radio was turned off, and nobody's going to knock on the bathroom door just as I'm ready to start. Okay? All right. Mary, is it best to do an enema? Okay, we did that already. Okay. Roxanne, what can I drink to have more energy? Well, you could drink more structured water. You could get the bowels moving much better. You could do an enema like Mary was just talking, but do an ultimate coffee enema. And you can take a look at that in my Perfect Day Guide in my library on my website. And if you do an ultimate coffee enema, guess what? Most of you are going to age, and most of you are going to get really old. And, you know, the thing is this. Do yourself a really big favor. Never compare yourself to anybody your age, because that's a really bad place to go. Okay. So what I would say to anybody here, okay, like let me see, I don't know what this is. It's, what's the date today? Do you know, Dre? 13th. Wow. Lucky 13. So in less than 4 weeks, okay, I'll be 64, and you can think what you want, but I actually feel like I'm 24. I felt like I was when I was 24, except without the anxiety that I had to prove something to the world and taking things personal and needing approval. So there you go. So that part's gone. So that's really cool. But I do feel that young. Honestly, I do. And I'm accomplishing way more, probably 3 or 4 times more. I have 3 or 4 more times more energy, but it's a lot calmer, right? Because I didn't realize that the power lies within, not without. Okay. So what do you drink? What can you drink? Well, we already talked about it. I'd be doing tummy love. I'd be doing daily cleansing tea. All right. I would also be taking our Sinonian minerals. I would also be looking at our infinite iodine. I'll be talking more about this later. I don't want to do some kind of a product pitch here right now, because that's not what this is about. But those are the things that you do. Oh, and the other thing is sunshine. Sunshine, sunshine. Let me tell you something. Anybody with COVID, if they're out in the sunshine, they wouldn't have COVID. There you go. So that's the deal, and I can prove that. The next thing is vitamin D. So, you know, I don't take vitamin D now. I do when I travel, because I have a vitamin D light. If you look at my website, look at EMF /energy, look at the vitamin D light there. And then you can say to yourself, wow, because it is wow. Because it'll saturate your whole body in 4 minutes with vitamin D without the vitamin K. But right off the bat, if I was traveling, what I do when I take a flight is I take 50,000 IUs of vitamin D. This is myself personally. I'm not telling you to do it. And then I would take vitamin K with it. And understand something. If I was really ill or sick, I'd look at doing 50,000 vitamin D for maybe 2 or 3 or 4 days, and to bring myself back, because vitamin D is not a vitamin. It's a hormone regulator. It's an immunomodulator, and I would take vitamin K with it. But when I'm at home, I've got my vitamin D light. And understand something. With the vitamin D light that we have, that we sell, we make $100 off it because we believe in it. We want to get it out there to everybody. So once you have that, you can get a vitamin D light for around, ours is around $1,300, I think, $1,300. I might not be right exact, but the reality is that's amazing. You come out of the shower, you do a vitamin D light, okay? So the reality is I'm going to carry products that I don't make money on. I'm going to carry products I don't make a lot of money on. Then I'm going to pay other products that I make money on, because we got to keep the business running, right? Okay? But I'll tell you right now, Roxanne, if it really comes down to the point that you want more energy, then why don't you book in for a consultation, a perfect day consultation. Go to my website, Doc of Detox, pay $125. $25 goes towards product if you want to buy some. $100 gives you lifetime coaching. And if you don't believe me, my extension is number 5. So after you talk to one of my master coaches, if you can't get in touch with them, you call me. Because that's what we do to make sure that we follow through here. And you can think, well, how does he ever do that? Well, because we have strategies, we have systems that actually work, okay? And we have follow through. And the other thing is guess what? People have been raised to think they're stupid. And everybody out there is a genius. And once we give you the right strategy, you're going to be more confident, have more faith in yourself, and go, I don't need Dr. Wolfe. I got this. And I'm telling you, that's the God's truth, all right? And with that comes a money-back guarantee. So I'm giving you lifetime support, $25 towards the product, and I'm going to give you a money-back guarantee that this is going to go way beyond anything that you've ever had before in coaching. Why did we put this together? Because everybody deserves this, and not everybody can afford this. So we make it for everyone. All right. Diana, I'm using the detox tea and love it. Is it okay to use long term? I've been using the detox tea now for 32 years, and I do miss the odd day, but I do it every morning, every night. And let me tell you something, okay? This is why I'm in such great shape. I mean, I don't overeat, but the reality is the daily cleansing tea has no stimulants, no laxatives. It helps to clean your liver, your kidneys, your lungs, your lymph, your blood, okay? Oh, and your bowel. And understand something, everybody. Guess what? Your bowel is responsible for about 85 to 95% of all the pain, suffering, and disease, and that which is going to bring you down someday. So if you were to spend about the same amount as a coffee every day, you're going to cover your butt with the best insurance policy. You know what? All the organs got together, and the brain says, I do all the thinking. I'm the one. If it wasn't for me, nothing's going to happen. The heart says, if I stop beating, you're not going to be around. The kidneys say, if I stop purifying, then guess what? I'm going to back things up into the blood. The liver says, if I don't work, then I'm not going to purify the blood at all. The lymph says, if I don't move, then you're going to swell up like the Pillsbury toe boy. And then guess what the bowel says? Well, I guess I'll just shut up then. And when he does shut up, she does shut up, she pollutes everything. Well, hasn't it already? How's your breath? Does your breath smell? Or do your underpits smell? Okay. Does your vagina smell? Okay. All right. Do you have brown spots all over your body? Mold. Okay. Are you bloated? Understand something. The large intestine calls the shots. Okay. And this is why, if you take a look at it, even in the natural health field, it's like, hey, you know what? You should come and see me and buy my cleansing kit and do a cleanse every 3 to 6 months. No thanks. I'll just do simple, gentle, baby loving steps every day and never have to do a deep cleanse because I got this. It's the same old thing. Create yourself into a 911 emergency and then go and do a natural cleanse. Well, it still sucks, okay? Because it makes you feel bad. It's too hard on the body. You're not going to open up all those dams and you're going to feel crappy. And when you're done, you're going to go, yeah, I feel kind of tired, but I feel a lot better. So I guess if you really want to fill yourself up and feel like crap and say, now it's time to do a cleanse, then we can do that. But we've always been taught to kind of do things. I don't do that. I don't do that. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be dedicated to give you back your power as much as possible. And it's not about the money. It's about family. Okay? All right? So, you might be able to poke at me a little bit here and there. But the reality is that my integrity will shine through at the end of the day. Okay? All right? Because it's going to have to. Look at the way I talk. All right. So, put your money where your mouth is, Dr. Wolfe. Well, I am. Okay? These shows are free. And I'm going to keep on doing them. And I have master classes for you for free. So understand something, though. But nothing's for free. You have to take massive personal action and love yourself. Just do that much for me. I'll do my part. You do your part. And fill up your heart. Okay? All right. Next question. Ava, is the COVID-19 test mess up with our blood-brain barrier? The test? Does it mess up? No, but actually, I'm going to be playing a video this week, and whether you want to believe it or not, the gentleman that actually invented the COVID test said, please don't use it for COVID. It doesn't work. Don't believe me. I'm just a practitioner. What would I know? Okay, so I don't really know about the test messing up. Well, the COVID-19 is messing up with your brain. Okay, we got that really clear. Okay, because for one thing, I don't even. Okay, personally, I'm not falling for the COVID because everybody has viruses. They're normal because there's going to be cells that infect, and COVID's been around forever. And if you knew something, what was that? Oh, you'd know that if you wanted to do your homework, you'd see that they tell you everything they're going to do to you, and they had this all strategized, and I can't wait for the second wave. The second wave. Well, why would there be a second wave? If somebody came to me with a health problem and I said, if you eat like this and you do this and you do this, there's no second wave, no third wave. All you got to do is create the perfect day and repeat that every day because God created a masterpiece. Okay? So, you know what? You're so bloody programmed, not you, but somebody out there, because my gosh, somebody's creating all this mess and fear, and it's definitely the majority of the population, okay? I mean, you bought the whole COVID thing. The craziest. I could, if anybody ever told me that they could pull something like this on the whole world, okay, and then tell you that this is the new normal, and then the majority would actually buy this, and that they're wearing stuff that is no thicker than your underwear on your face, all right, and people are walking around like this, I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't even go to a movie like that. I'd say it can't be true. Can't be true. All right. Oh, yeah, there's the COVID. Okay. What is fulvic acid? Okay. Well, fulvic acid is actually made from humic acid. And humic acid, believe it or not, it looks like coal, but it isn't. Okay. It's shilligate, and what it actually is, it's actually plant life. Get this. It's actually plant life that dinosaurs used to eat. So the vibration in it, and we know that charcoal's really good, but now we're going to go a step up, right? We're going to go a step up with humic. And so fulvic is a smaller particle that actually comes from humic. Okay, so everything in life has a vibration. And I went through what fulvic already did, and I'll make it really short here again. But the reality is what fulvic is when you drink it is it helps to collect nutrients throughout the body, take it to the cells, dump off the nutrients, and then it'll pick up 3 times its weight in heavy metals and acidity, and then take that out. But when it takes it out, you don't have to experience any symptoms because it's in lockdown. That's why they call it the most amazing chelator for the human body. Next. Okay. So would a water fast, this is Dawn, thank you, Dawn. Would a water fast help dissolve kidney stones? Well, kidney stones, what are they made out of? Kidney stones are made out of calcium. Okay? And there can be cholesterol in there too. right? So that's what kidney stones, but they're mainly calcium. They're mainly cholesterol in the gallbladder. You right? You got that fatty deposit, but they're mainly calcium in the kidneys. Now, if I was going to do a fast, it would help, but no, there's other things that will do it. But guess what? SAC calcium is the best in the world. If you go to my library and click on the SAC calcium guide, watch the videos. But understand something. On Wednesday, I'm interviewing Jay Lee from SAC Calcium, and we're going to be going through and just talking about how the reality, whether you like it or not, there's not another calcium product that works like this. This is the only calcium treatment in the world that is actually backed by science. Other calcium products actually cause problems. And when somebody says to you, we have an ionic calcium, no, they don't. This is actually the only calcium ion in the world, and it's patent for that. Okay, and if you want to, you're not going to see the product on our website because we're allowed to sell it because there's nothing toxic about it. But the reality is the FDA actually told us that we have to put it in the background and you have to go looking for it in our library. And then when you want to buy it, you actually have to call me, and then I'm going to go through things with you, and then you can buy it. So figure it out. And it totally has no negative side effects at all. And understand something, whether you want to believe this or not, we've got thousands of testimonials where people, and this is only because we're talking about the kidney stones, where people have had osteoporosis so bad in their 80s where their bones were crumbling because they were on Fosamax for years, and within a year they had their bone structure back to the 35 or 40-year-old. Go figure. Because understand something, the calcium ion is what's responsible for everything, like 100,000 different processes. But guess what? Around the age of 25, it starts to drop, and by the age of 35, your human growth hormone drops enough that this doesn't happen anymore. And especially with 4G and pretty soon 5G and blue light and all the toxicity, it bombards all this and knocks it out. Listen, let me tell you something. If you think I'm kidding, did you know that a male now reaches his peak by 25, and most males cannot perform properly by the time they're 40, and they used to reach their peak at 50, and they were still performing at 75 years old. So this is where we're going, and this is why they're bringing the 5G out, because the 5G is going to sterilize all the little boys in school. And if you think I'm kidding, you're going, oh my God, how can you just say something so half-cocked? Because it's not half-cocked, it's science. All right? Let me see here. So will it dissolve kidney stones? Well, yeah, it could. If you were doing things like the Ormus minerals, if you're doing things like the fulvic acid, the SAC calcium, okay? If you were doing these things, then it's definitely going to help towards it, and it's going to soften them up, start to make them smaller and smaller, okay? And understand something, you wouldn't have the calcium deposits in your kidneys if you weren't pulling the calcium from your bones because you were so acidic. And that's because you have an inflammatory diet and an inflammatory mind, and I can prove that, but I won't do that right now. Okay. Denise, I got the magnesium from you, Dr. Wolfe, but I seem to be getting bad jitters and high heart rate from just one scoop. Can I ask why this might be? Thanks so much. Well, I've never heard of that before. And our magnesium is called Mag Infusion. And the type of magnesium it is, when it goes into the body, right away it's absorbed, it heats up, and it absorbs through the stomach. So then it goes into the bloodstream, and magnesium helps to relax and heal. So I think that you already had jitters before then, okay? To be honest with you. And you know what? The thing is this. People don't know this, but in a healing process, some things can seem to be getting worse before they get better. You talk to anybody who had cancer, had a tumor. When the tumor starts to actually lose its energy and its power, the tumor will swell before it dies. Okay, so it's like this too. So, okay, before a star dies, it gets big, and it gets bigger, and then it dies. Okay, ready for this? What happens to people? when people get bigger, 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 they have less energy. Okay? So the reality is things sometimes will get worse because they are getting worse. Sometimes symptoms will actually get worse. You know, people will call me up and say, oh, I just did your ATP, which are life crystals, which help to restore the mitochondria in your cells. And they'll say, well, I've just taken your ATP and I feel like I've got all this energy. And I'm saying, yeah, well, that's because you're so badly depleted. So just do a drop. And then if you can't do that, do a drop in water. Meanwhile, everybody can do a teaspoon. So when we become oversensitive to things that are healthy, okay, we're actually getting allergic to the environment. And that's because we've blown out our nervous system. Okay? All right. So go slower. Go slower. If you're only using one scoop, then use like an eighth of a scoop. And you know, everybody, I need to tell you this. The scoop is as tiny as this, and you can hardly see it on camera. Yeah. So that's what's affecting her. All right? So understand something. It's the same thing as this. Somebody walks in that has bothered you forever. And all you got to do is they just have to mention their name and you're going to go over the top. All right? So we've blown out our nervous system. All right? And we overreact. So people that overreact, do you think that their system would overreact after a while? You know, you become what you think about. You become what you are. So what I try to do is I try to work on staying calm, but staying energetic. So that's what everybody would like, right? More energy, but peace. So that's what we got to work towards. Okay. Okay, they're coming in fast and furious today. Dolly, what is structured water? Okay, I don't want to go into this too deep, only because then I'm doing a Q&A. I don't want to do into the products too heavy. I can do that more in the fasting. But there's a structured water unit. You pour water through, okay? Or you can pour anything through, any type of liquid, and it structures it, and it'll protect against any of the toxins, heavy metals, or chemicals in that product by just going through this. Well, nature does it. What do you think rain is? Rain comes down, it's got heavy metals, like we haven't had chem clouds lately. So what do you think? All those chemicals are going to be in the rain. Okay, the heavy metals are going to be in the rain. But why is it that the birds, the bees, the flowers, the trees, and the grass just jumps for joy every time the rain comes down? Because it's structured and it's protected. All nature is protected from structured water. And what we're doing is we're structuring water, whether it's tap water, distilled water, reverse osmosis, spring water. But the best water that you can ever get is actually, I think, would be spring water. That's what I'd be looking for. And then running it through my structure unit. Or you can get any other purified water. And then you're going to think I'm totally crazy. But I believe in this. So I know that there's fluoride in the water. But I believe that when the water goes through here, the fluoride, the chlorine, and everything else, I'm protected by running that through here. Now, you might think I'm crazy. But the reality is, you know, with all the fluorine and the chlorine, and I don't know, how am I doing? I'll be 64 years old. And the reality is I smoked a lot when I was in my teenage years, and I drank a lot until I woke up. And I did a lot of other things too. Ate the way everybody else did. And the reality is I look much younger than I did if you take a look at my pictures 5 years ago. And I drink structured water all over the world by structured water, and that's what it does. It's the miracle that God gave us because God knew that Bill Gates was going to spray chem clouds. What do you think of those chem clouds? They're pretty freaky, eh? And that we were going to pollute the atmosphere, and that structuring would help to protect us and keep all the birds, bees, flowers, and trees alive, because they don't deserve to be poisoned when it's mankind that did the poisoning, right? Okay. And as far as that is, I'm just going to keep it light as possible, but I just want to say that corporations they're beyond evil, but it's not even the corporation. It's the so-called, you know what, the people behind the people behind the people. And I don't really believe that they're evil. I believe that they're disgusting, and they feed off of our pain and suffering, and that's it. Like, that's not been going on. Okay, let me get back to this, because I don't want people to think I'm ranting. Okay. That's structured water, and the structured water comes in shower heads, comes in a house unit, comes in an industrial unit, even units for a whole farm or for your pool. Hey, how would you like this? So you got to use chemicals for your pool, and then you go and you put a structure unit on, and then you can go in and you can swim with your eyes open, and your eyes will never get red again. Your skin will never get itchy or burning. How is that? Okay? How is that? And I can prove it. You know what else I'm going to tell you right now? And I'm going to show this in a one a day. You ready for this? Okay, so all you wine drinkers that don't drink organic wine, just know this, you're poisoning the heck out of yourself. There's so many chemicals in wine. Oh yeah, it relaxes you. That's okay, that's fine. I get it. You need something to relax you because you don't know how to calm yourself down because we've been taught that way. Now, I'm not trying to pick on you, but if you're drinking wine every day, then that would make you an alcoholic. But so if you can't get off of that and you believe that drinking wine every day is just part of your ritual, I get it. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic here. But if you're going to do it, I want to help you. And I really, truly mean that. Alcohol on a daily basis is not good for you. Especially, people say it is. Oh, gosh, yes. That's why Grandma lived till she was 104. Yeah, well, then why did all the other alcoholics die early? Okay? Let's just take one and then tell that story over and over again like a dead horse. So anyways... So now, most people won't buy organic wine, but if you could buy organic wine, it's going to be healthier for you. But if you drank it every day, it's not going to be healthy for you. Do you get that? I hope you do. You probably don't because it's not advertised that way. It's advertised differently, so we get programmed. Now, if I took that wine, and I even just took 2 ounces, because guess what? If I ran the whole bottle through, that bite, that fizz, that pop, it's going to be gone. But if I took 2 ounces out of a liter bottle and poured it through here, and I took that 2 ounces, I put it back into the wine bottle, I could drink that whole quart myself and have no hangover and no toxic reaction on my liver. Figure that one out. So here's the deal. So now if you're doing organic, you bring up the vibration, it's going to be a lot more of a healing drink, isn't it? So if we structure our liquor, now if you took 2 ounces from even a big quart of rye, rum, tequila, and we did the same thing. Now I was over at a friend's house, his name is Raphael, he's a good friend of mine. And what he did was he took the whole bottle because he loves a smooth wine. So he took this whole bottle and he poured the whole bottle of wine through here. I want to talk about smooth. So he gets to have the whole buzz, but no hangover, no headache, no fuzziness in the morning. That's called structuring. I could tell you now a whole bunch of other things about structuring. You could put water through this and put it into a Ziploc bag, and then you could just take regular water, okay, and then you've got, let's say, a headache. Don't tell anybody. Take that bag of structured water and the just regular water and put it on the person for a couple of minutes, just the regular water. Then put the structured water on. And don't tell them you're doing this. And they're going to tell you, wow, the headache's coming down. Everything is frequency. We're frequency beings, guys. We're frequency beings. And understand something. The invisible creates the physical. So I can tell you something. Honey, I love you. You're so gorgeous. I can tell you, well, you know what? I think you're amazing. Or I could say, you know what? You are so stupid. Now, right away, that's going to change the vibration in your body. But what if you knew how to actually manage the vibration in your body by being the master of your thoughts, your images, so that you don't tell the brain to dump negative chemicals and hormones to destroy you? Do you know how many people I'm getting calls from right now that, Dr. Wolfe, I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge. I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, it's easy enough to love your life when everything's going your way. But wouldn't it be something to love your life when it's not going your way, but you become the way? You think I'm kidding? Anybody can learn this. You just got to love yourself enough to want to believe what I'm saying is the God's truth. All right. Landa, I do believe in myself. This is why I do feel great, even with cancer. I just have a question about calcium. Is it really enough? 1 times 5 ml spoon a day for me? No, not with cancer. You want to do it 3 times a day. And you want to do the Merigen, the SAC calcium, okay? So I'll make it really quick, okay? So nobody thinks I'm trying to do the thing here. That's called Cardigen. That's for joints, right? Then you've got Alzagen, which is for the brain, Alzheimer's, dementia, even helps with autism, okay? And then you've got Azo, which helps with autism with children under 12 and helps with children that aren't physically, emotionally, or mentally developing like they should, okay? Then you've got Dentagen, which is totally amazing, for strong teeth, strong bones, jawbone, teeth, things of that nature. And then you've got Megagen, which is the only 1-a-day calcium product on the planet, proven to even work, and the rest of them don't. And that's the God's truth. Go look at PubMed, or go look at PubMed at the thousands of articles that say that if anybody could invent a calcium ion, that would be the end of everything, that we could turn around everything. Well, oh, wait a minute. Somebody did. And I'll have that somebody on Wednesday night. Okay? And it'll be a live show on Wednesday. And then we will take your questions and your challenges on Thursday. And do challenge me. Challenge Ray Lee. Jay Lee. Ray Lee's my granddaughter. Challenge Jay Lee on this product and on his theories. Okay? All right. And this is Merigen. This is used for cancer, chronic conditions. This is the most powerful product. Go watch the videos. I could tell you testimonials that you wouldn't even believe. But the reality is everything is a frequency. And when you make your products more into a frequency than in a physical product, which all my products, I go towards frequency with everything. I try to get the most smallest molecular structure, highest vibration, and that's what we work towards. Because we are electromagnetic, light energy beings, and we work off a frequency. And everything you've ever eaten, everything you've ever drank has left your body. The only thing that stayed behind was the frequency. You're going to go, no way. I eat that meat to become big, muscle, strong. No, it's only the vibration that stays. Everything else leaves the body. It doesn't stay. And there's no physical here. Because understand something. Before you were physical, okay, you were an energy, light, energy being, okay? And guess what? E equals mc squared. Remember what Einstein says? Energy equals mass? Okay. Well, that's just the most important equation in the world. You learned that in school, so you must know that the invisible now creates the physical. All right. Is your seal oil blend vitamin D3? Yes, it does have that. It does have that in it, but it's mainly the essential fatty acids. And the other thing is it's called Ocean Essentials. And guess what? Fish oil we can't digest. Seal oil we can. And this is a pharmaceutical grade seal oil. It's as pure. All right? And when you take this, even if you put it in your hand, you can feel the difference in energy than fish oil and other so-called essential fatty acids. And when you start doing seal oil, okay, the Ocean Essentials, you're going to feel the difference. All right? Remember, my extension is 5. I can be challenged anytime. All right. Jacqueline, good evening. Could you please give advice for a friend with burning mouth syndrome? Okay, so definition of that, a painful complex condition, often described as burning, okay, scalding or tingling, feeling in the mouth that may occur every day for months or longer. Well, first of all, this was diagnosed, but nothing she has been given has helped. Well, first of all, she needs to be on structured water. Second thing is, does she drink coffee? A lot of people, if they drink more than 1 coffee a day, they can get burning mouth. The other reason for burning mouth is heavy metal poisoning in the body, but it's all looking towards acidity, okay? And the mouth which is the tongue that's usually burning, and the mouth is showing that you have in your lower bowel, because everything is a symptom of, just like when somebody has really bad breath, okay, it's not gum disease, It's bum disease, okay? Because the hot gases rise up into the mouth and they create that stinky, yucky, burning mouth. And it might not be that, but then it's just high acidity in the body. And she has an acidic diet or an acidic mind or heavy metals. And that's what it is. Okay, so here's the deal. So somebody called up today. They might be watching. And they said, well, Dr. Wolfe, your second bottle of Black Gold, which is a Humic Fulvic product that we use, that we put in blender drinks and we put in coffee to help to buffer down the acidity in coffee and to make it healthier. And we also put it in the coffee enema. They said, your second one that I got, when I take it, it's more acidic. And I said, no. First of all, I did a consult on her about 8 days ago. So now we got her on the Perfect Day protocol. And so now she's in detox, which means the heavy metals are coming out and the acidity is coming out. And the Black Gold is actually drawing that out even more. And I said, that's all going to go away. And she goes, yeah, but the Black Gold kind of tastes different. I said, no, your mouth is different. And so it's just like this. And honestly, if you get someone that's never done any colon cleansing and then you get them on the Black Gold Tummy Love Daily Cleansing Tea, you know, before their bowel movements might have smelt, but now it smells like something died in there 3 years ago and it's crawling out. So that's going to happen just for a while, but it's better to get it out and in, isn't it? Seriously. Okay. So that's what's happening is, you know, we're stirring things up. It's like you have a puddle, you walk in it, you can't see in it because of the mud. But as long as nobody goes in it, nothing stirs it up. It just stays there. So we got to kind of stir things up to get things out. So there will be, yeah. So that's what I'd say. And if you wanted to call me, I'll prove it. I'll prove it within 10 minutes of asking her questions, and I'll find what's burning her mouth. Okay? Understand something. So what a really good natural health practitioner is a detective. Okay? So we are detectives, and we work on the natural side, and we work on an empowerment of people. So we want to find what the problem is and then get rid of it. You know, you're not going to come to us and we're just going to go, oh, well, just take that product. Let's hope it works. Boom. So, well, maybe that's true. I mean, probably there's practitioners doing that. But the reality is you want one that's going to be a detective and help you to become a detective and eventually become your own practitioner that you don't need me or anyone else. That's it. That's the deal. If you can't look after yourself, then you're toast today. Okay? All right. Yeah, burnt mouth, toast. There you go. Does your cleansing tea help get rid of Candida? Absolutely. But then what is Candida? Candida is where the yeast turns into a fungus and the fungus turns into a drill predator that actually causes the leaky gut, which actually is a leaky large intestine, which then you absorb the fungus into your blood and into your pelvis, along with the actual particles of fecal waste and trapped protein particles that go right through into the bloodstream and into the pelvis, which causes most of the problem anyways. I mean, people don't even understand that, you know, when you got to get a hip replacement, it's because you've been pooping into your pelvis, into your groin, and it caused all that inflammation and it spread it out into the tissues and created beef jerky. So if we got rid of the beef jerky, returned the calcium back into the bones, you wouldn't need the surgery. But we got to go into the colon and get the cork out so that we can get you cleansing properly. But then we got to get you respecting what you put in your mouth too. All right. So Candida. So we know this, okay, and people say, well, I haven't done antibiotics. Yes, you have. If you eat animal products and they're not free range and organic, let me tell you something. If you drink milk, if you eat cheese, okay, if you do any type of animal products, then you've done lots of antibiotics. So you don't need to worry about that one. So you're getting a lot. And all you need to do is antibiotics just one time because they're a form of chemo. They're going to knock the good bacteria out, which they don't kill all the bacteria. What it does is it actually mutates the bacteria and they become bad bacteria, which cause bad moods that attract you to bad foods. And then understand something. Your bacteria talk 12 times to your brain for every time the brain only talks once. So understand that's what they call the gut-brain disconnection because you've just made your bacteria emotionally imbalanced. and their little brain doesn't work. Okay, there it is. I knew I could squeeze it out if I just took a little second there. Okay. Would you have children use the cleansing tea? Yes, I would. Why? Well, children and children and the elderly, okay, have the worst bowel problems of all society. And understand something. If I could get daily cleansing tea into every nursing home, then guess what? We would get rid of the worst problem that old people like to talk about. Their poop every day, the one they don't have, the one they have to squeeze out. And understand something. Why do you think old people smell? And please, I'm not trying to put them down. But that's disgusting. We're disgusting. We are disgusting as a nation, what we do to our elderly. I mean, right now they're locked up. And right now they're on drugs. And right now they're being fed food that's not real. That's what I call welcome to the harvest. And the reality is there's just no sense of it. The elderly should be outside in the sunshine right now. They should have their family visiting them. But you know what? There should be an uprising over this. It's beyond inexcusable. Inexcusable. Okay. Jesse, my friend has a hernia. What do you suggest? I suggest your friend, Jesse, with the hernia, is it an inguinal hernia? Okay. Or is it a hiatal hernia? A hiatal hernia happens right up around this area, okay, right here, just below the sternum. And a hiatal hernia is caused from what? Not helping your wife move the couch. It's from grunting and groaning, trying to get that little nugget out, okay, of your butt, because you're so dry down there because you eat too much dairy, too much bread, too much animal products. You don't food combine properly. You drink too much beer. Oh my gosh, you don't drink enough water, okay? And you don't exercise enough. So, that's a 30-foot journey. And by the time it gets to the sigmoid, which is the last 5 inches, it's so dry down there that it can't get itself out. So that's why you're grunting and groaning. And every time you're grunting and groaning, you're already on your way to sickness. Every time you bloat, you're already on your way to sickness. Every time you don't digest your food, you're on your way to sickness. Okay? So now, that's a hiatal hernia. They're easy. They're a lot easier to fix, believe it or not. With Wolfe non-surgical, we can go in there and actually, what happens is part of the stomach comes up through the diaphragmatic hole, and we can actually pull that back down. I'm telling you the truth. Okay. Now, the inguinal hernia, what you got to do is you got to clean out the colon. You got to try to do the ultimate coffee enema, and you got to try to do the fastings. Okay, we got to get the pressure off, and then what we got to do is we got to do gentle clapping. We probably have to do some Wolfe non-surgical around the area because there's going to be scar tissue, not where the tear is though, or not where it's giving out, because that's weak. And then what we got to do is we got to do things like spray our infinite iodine on there, use DMSO, use essential oils, and then we've got to do things like Sononian minerals. Okay, things that are actually going to build up tissue integrity. Tissue integrity is everything. Can the body heal? Absolutely. Does the medical system believe it can heal? They used to, but they don't anymore because surgery, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay, drugs, boom. Okay, so it's cut, poison, and burn. And I'm not the one saying it. I'm not trying to down them. Listen, they're amazing for emergencies. Well, they're everything for emergencies, but making yourself into an emergency is not really cool. Okay, because if you find yourself going to the hospital every 3 months, then you are an emergency. Okay, and you are also a victim, and you're also in crisis. And you need to get that. And I don't care if people want to say things to me or down me for what I just said, because it's the God's truth. I'll give you a money-back guarantee that if you do 85% of what I ask you after you get a consultation from one of my master consultants, I'll give you your money back. It's as simple as that. Your body is amazing, created by God Almighty, but you've never, ever taken massive personal action in loving it. That's it. That's all. That's why we're in this mess. Valentina, I've been dealing with acid reflux for years. It's now affecting my throat. That's right. You could end up with throat cancer. I'm actually going to be dealing with a lady tomorrow, a lovely lady. She's going to be dropping in because she lives in the Okanagan Valley, and she wanted a consultation, but, I said, just come on in. I can take a look at it, see what's going on. And we're going to be able to turn that around, and she has the same thing. She had so much acid problem that the acid came up and burnt her vocal cords. So I'm going to actually be taking a look tomorrow, and I'm going to give her suggestions, and we're going to turn this around for her, and I'm going to show her how to do it. Okay? And guess what? Clapping is part of it. Okay? So clapping will be part of it. Okay? And everybody, I know that you're like, oh my gosh, Dr. Wolfe, are you ever going to do the clapping series? Yes, I am. Okay? All right. I'm going to do the clapping series. All right? It's coming. And I know I keep saying 2 weeks, but I'm just going to give a date when I'm ready. And I would probably say it's going to happen in 3 weeks, because it has to happen before I go to Mexico, because I'm going to Mexico around the second. I want to get it started anyways, so I'm going to Mexico around the second week of August, because I'm going down there to approve of everything. They're building an auditorium, 120 auditorium for me for lecturing, and to bring in other people, great people around the world to lecture. And we're going to be taking a look at, there's a 250 rooms. We're going to be checking out what we need in there. And we're going to be looking at the whole place, about building the restaurant and also my theater to do these shows down there when I'm down there. So we'll be up here and we'll be down there. But the reality is I'm going to try to get the clapping started before we leave to go there. All right. So it now is affecting my throat from the acid rising. What can I take to heal my throat and bring down the acids? I've started plant-based diet, and it's improving somewhat. I appreciate your help. Thank you. Well, first of all, Valentina, I would tell you to get a consult, because the reality is this. Until you can create the perfect day from the minute you wake up until you go to bed, there's going to be holes in your program. Understand something. If we haven't learned anything, we've learned this, that when people come together and strategize, they can make the craziest things happen, like COVID. So the reality is if you got together with somebody that knows what they're doing and they created the perfect day from you from the minute you woke up until you went to bed, you could heal this so much quicker. So you can either just spend more money, suffer longer, or you can call on the Doc of Detox team. And you can call in and we'll answer your questions. But if you want us to go the full route with you, then I've got to make sure that I cover my bases too, and getting professionals to help you, and then I will be right there as well, okay? Oh, but by the way, baking soda. So the reality is if I was you right now, I don't know your situation, but I would tell you to do a level teaspoon of baking soda in about 8 to 10 ounces of water, and you need to do that when you wake up in the morning. You need to do it again maybe around 1 o'clock. And then you might need to do it again around probably 7 o'clock because you're so acidic. But the reality is we need to get you on a protocol that's going to buffer the acid down and also start showing you some ways to stop the monkey mind from triggering the chemicals that are creating the acid in the first place. Because if you say that you're behaving, okay, there's some holes in your protocol here. And then just ask yourself if it's worth actually opting in and getting a master consultant. Carol, what can I do to clear my mind? But understand something, even with heartburn, you better get on the baking soda, but also please, if nothing else, take a look at the Daily Cleansing Tea, Tummy Love, and Black Gold. And I don't want to overwhelm you, but I would also be taking a look at the Sinonian minerals. We were out of them. They'll be up in about 8 days again. And there's 147 nutrients in my Sinonian minerals, and it's the oldest mineral deposit on the planet. So there's a lot of immune builders there that are going to buffer all this acid down and help to bring your energy back. Next. Carol, what can I do to clear my mind? I am a thinker. Is it a waste of time? What can I do to clear my mind? Well, first of all, you're not a thinker, you're a stinker. Okay? And the reality is you have a monkey mind. Now, I'm a thinker, but the reality is what I'm thinking about is what I can create. Okay? When you need to try to clear your mind, it's only because you're running beliefs in your subconscious you don't know you're running. So understand something. Everybody with every illness they have, the wealth they have, the house they live in, the car they drive, the people they hang out with, it's all built on programs. Now, if you're willing to change your personality, you're going to change your reality. So that's the deal. But to change your personality, you're going to have to change your thoughts. But to do that, you're going to have to really take a good look at yourself, put a little mini you here. So why don't you start off with the Braveheart 4 pillars? You'll see that in My Perfect Day. And then maybe watch the 12 loving steps. Start to embrace that. But understand something right now. The subconscious is not the enemy, just like pain is not an enemy. But the subconscious is an enemy unless you're going to go in there and you're going to make every prominent thought, okay, based on total love, respect, and honor for you. For you. If you're not selfish enough to know what your needs are and then move on that, and if you think that you need personal, if you take things personal or you need approval from your family or anybody else in the world, then just get used to it. Buckle up, baby. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Okay? All right. I would suggest you get an emotional consultation. That's what I would do. And again, it's all about support. I mean, like I said, how would you like to have a coach for $125? I'm not going anywhere. And it's unlimited support. So, Gina, one of my friends has MS, and most MS starts in the large intestine, guys, just so you know. That's my belief. Believe what you want. What would be a good route for her to take? I've tagged her on your page. Hopeful she gathers good information to help her heal. Thank you, Dr. Wolfe. Well, you know what? First of all, guess what? She's got MS, okay, which is a disease. I would tell her to get a consult and then bring on the Doc of Detox team and let's work. Because here's the deal. Here's the problem. Even if I told you what to do, and I did that in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you're not going to do it. You need somebody that's going to keep reminding you that you're worthy, that you got this. And the reality is people aren't stupid. They're programmed, okay? So you've been programmed to live a certain way. And this is the way we've been programmed. We've been programmed to knock ourselves off. And we've been programmed to knock ourselves off slowly so that we spend all our money before we go and our family doesn't get it, okay? All right, there's my definition right there, okay? But the reality is here is you can change that program, but you're going to have to work on it. And the reality is that's why you do sticky notes. That's why you wear a Braveheart love band, okay? Because you've got to, because you've got to keep going around and going 3, 2, 1, I got this. That's the kiss. There's the hug. And I'm saying, I love you, Darrell. And I'm going to watch my subconscious, and I'm not going to allow it to take us down. Okay? All right. And it's not the subconscious. It's the beliefs that were in there. Because your mother and father had bad beliefs. Okay? Every system has bad beliefs. I don't know a religion that has all perfect beliefs. And definitely all governmental systems that have ever been created are toxic. They are. Look at the people running them. Oh, wait a minute. Look at the people who own the people who are running them. That's better still. Okay. Gina. Nope. Gina, we answered her. Natalia. Okay, so I'm not going to take any more questions in live because I've got to start working on the ones. I've got 30 questions here, guys. I'm going to try to get the ones done here. The questions I don't get done, I won't answer them tomorrow, which is Tuesday. But I will take any questions I don't answer today, and they're going to bounce into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So nobody's going to have questions not answered before the weekend. All right? Okay, so just so you know, I'm going to get to everyone, all right? Okay, all right. Natalia, what can cause right shoulder dislocation? There was no mechanical trauma. Well, first of all, a dislocation is caused from dislocations. A dislocation is caused from the tendons and ligaments becoming loose in this area. But that's not the problem. There's other ones that are too tight. Okay, so when things are too tight in there, so we've got an imbalance. So we've got to go in and we've got to use Wolfe non-surgical. Sorry, but we do. I don't know anything else going to do it. You give me somebody that's going to go for shoulder surgery, and they don't have to pay me. And if I work on them or one of my trainers works on them and they don't go for the shoulder surgery, they can pay me, right? Well, we can prove that that person who couldn't lift their arm up will be able to lift their arm up after we work on them. Might take an hour to an hour and a half treatment, but we're going to do it. Everything's about scar tissue, guys. It's all about the the sticky, glicky tissues from the sticky, glicky mind and that create the chemicals, and the sticky, glicky diet that create the chemicals. And then if that arm was used a lot, or if there was an injury in that when they were younger, it's always going to go to the weakest link. Like a link the weakest link in the chain of a bike is going to break. That's the one that's going to go first. So the reality is, you know what? Okay, we're the first generation that doesn't believe the body can heal anymore. And then, you know what? I believe in God. Oh, really? Really? Well, you don't believe in your body, I'll tell you that much. Because guess what? The reality is before I would let anybody take a knife to my body, because surgery causes more scar tissue than anything else. Ask anybody who got their shoulder operated on. They usually have to go back a year or two later, and they usually go back 3 or 4 times sometimes. So isn't that like every surgery, that it's just a domino effect? So why wouldn't you give yourself a chance? If it's not an emergency, why are you acting like one? Why are you acting like one? Okay, so anyways, we would go in there and do that. We'd use also DMSO. We'd also use Muscle Restore and Pain Away. We'd also use a clapping technique on it, okay? And understand something. We're going to heal that thing, okay? But the thing is that a lot of people have given up on themselves or really don't love themselves, because if you're not running a love program, you're running a hate program. That's not true. Maybe I don't love myself, but I don't hate myself. Well, that's not true either, because take a look at the majority of the population. Yeah, like that's working. So the reality is but the thing is you've always done the best you could. Until you know better, you won't do better. Somebody's going to come on here and says, is he making fun of me? Is he putting me down? Absolutely not. You can't do better till you know better. And guess what? You were given a manual to destroy yourself. Okay, and that was given by those that control our government and all the corporations. They write everything. Like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds write all the books that are in all the universities and schools. Okay, they're the ones that rewrote history. I got to understand something. He who wins the war gets to write the story. So understand something. I know the world I live in, and you can say, is he putting this down? No, I'm not putting the world down. I'm having a heck of a lot of fun, and I love it. Every day I go out into nature. I go out riding. I love my life. I love this planet. Why would I be on the show if I didn't love this planet? This show is about this planet. This show is about my family. Without you, we need each other. I want you to bring my vibe up. I want to bring your vibe up, and together we'll have good vibrations, right? Okay. All right. Okay, where are we here? Where can we see testimonials on products? Oh, okay, here we go. I have lots of testimonials on itioh.com on our courses, our personal treatment and trainings, our certifications. You know what? Go into my library and take a look at the Humic Fulvic guide. Go take a look at the videos we've done. Go take a look at the SAC calcium. Go take a look at the research behind my products. Guys, I'm really having a hard time with this. Everybody has testimonials on their products. I like staying away from them, okay? Because there's so many fake testimonials out there. So I like staying away from them. So if it means that I don't have a testimonial on my product, or that you can just go watch a video on all my products, and you're not going to buy my products, then I'd probably just opt out and say don't buy them. Go to some place where they have testimonials on them, because testimonials can be really manipulated, and they can manipulate people. All right, do the research on my products, and yeah, we have a money-back guarantee. So you know, and I don't know what to say. You know, we have a money-back guarantee on all treatments and all our therapies. You know, it's called integrity. And the reality is, oh gosh, I don't even, when people bring this up, I don't even want to do it. And then they're going to go, well, why don't you? Well, because guess what? If I was collecting testimonials from everyone, okay, then I wouldn't be answering your questions. We have to decide where we're going to go here. My team worked full-time, full speed. And you know what? If they didn't love their job, they'd leave me. And that's the God's truth. All right? So we're going to focus on, keep on doing what we're doing. The reality is the most important thing is the information is that you learn how to love yourself. Learn how to love yourself. Really learn how to love yourself. And then learn how to shop properly. Okay? All right? At the end of the day, if the testimonials aren't on there and that's not going to crack it for you, then find some place that has the same products or similar products. And if they've got testimonials, go with them. And God love you, because guess what? That's how it is. All right. Okay, Natasha, my daughter feels like she has a prolapsed bladder. What would be the best treatment for this? You don't have a prolapsed bladder unless you have a prolapsed intestine. And so the next thing is that what's the best treatment? Well, the best treatment is to get Wolfe non-surgical. For one thing, if her bladder's prolapsed, that means everything's falling down, which means organs are stuck together and it's all jammed up in her pelvis. We would lovingly pull that apart so we get the lymph, the blood, and help to remove the scar tissue, and the calcification and the crystallization. That's a really important place to start. The other thing is again, get her a whole life, get her a perfect day consultation, because when even if she's not going to change right away, we're going to give her the audio, and she's going to have the protocol. And as she starts to do things and get her toe in the water, her foot in the water, her whole leg, you know what I mean? She'll start doing it. She'll buy into this. And then she's also going to feel very comfortable about calling us as often as she wants to and having us support her, because guess what? You can't change overnight. Anything that changes overnight isn't going to last. Why do you think we do this consultation for the price we do and then tell you that it's lifetime? Because we know that it's going to take us reminding you, because everything is a program in your subconscious, and until we've repeated it enough and you believe it enough and get passionate about it enough, it's not going to be a prominent thing, so you're not going to do it, so I'm not going to punish you. So you can take as long as you want. Just know that we're going to see this through. All right. Landa, where can we see... oh, no, we did that one already. Ella, how does one heal schizophrenia? Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you something. I always try to be as honest as possible, but there's an imbalance here. There's a brain imbalance. There's a whole chemistry imbalance. And take a look at this person with schizophrenia. Tell me that they drink right, eat right, think right, live right. It's not happening. So they've got to buy into drinking the Kool-Aid on this one. That it all starts with them. And the other thing is did you ever have somebody go and they said they went out drinking and they drank too much alcohol or they did too much drugs, and they said, "Oh my God, I don't remember doing that. That wasn't me. That was someone else." Well, yeah, that's true, because when you do drugs and you do alcohol, entities jump you. Now, the reality is if you're out of balance for too long, entities jump you and they move in. So there's lots of things here, guys, and I'm not going to talk about it on here because some people don't want to hear this. Some people don't want to believe this. So the reality is if this person really wants to get it together, they're going to have to understand something. The invisible always creates the physical, and sometimes the invisible is not too friendly. All right. Okay. Again, we're back to the consult thing. But it's really about, nutritional balance, dehydration. It's all about that. Feeling loved. It's all about that. And then what addictive behaviors does this person have? And have this person be really honest if they get a consultation, because we're never going to judge you. We're going to observe the situation, create a strategy, and allow you to fail as often as you want, because you're not a failure. Okay? I've fallen down. Every time I do something new, I fall down. How many times have I told you I'm going to do the clapping class in 2 weeks, so I just better keep my mouth shut? Okay? So the reality is I didn't fail. The reality is I took on too much. So I'll let you know when we're going to do it. So, and if I were to feel like a failure because I promised this, so I should just stop promising. But the reality is anytime that you feel like a failure, that becomes the disease and it actually feeds it. And remember something, beliefs are alive and beliefs need to be fed. If they're healthy beliefs and you feed them, you're going to get healthier. If they're negative beliefs and you feed them, they're going to eat you up. Okay. All right. Donna, how long do you have to take ionic calcium for it to show improvement? How long does a bottle last? Well, a bottle of 250, taking it twice a day, 250 milligrams, taking it twice a day will last 25 days. That's a large bottle. Now, the reality is Donna, what are you going to do? Are you going to go, I love you, Donna. I got this, or every time that there's something goes on, you're going to have a reaction and dump negative chemicals into your body, make yourself more acidic. And do you have a habit like alcohol? What about toking every day? What about ice cream? What about, are you in a relationship where this is as good as it gets? Okay, so understand this. I will tell you this much. The SAC calcium will work faster than any other product because it works on frequency, and it's not working so everything's about frequency. There is no product like this. This product is amazing. I mean, there are products, different products, but there is no product that works on calcium. Why is the main mineral in the body calcium? Because it's that important. But what happens when your body can't break it and make it properly? It only breaks it down, and now you're becoming stiff as a board. I'm flexible. I've got energy. I feel young. So that's the reality. I take the SAC calcium twice a day. And you may not believe this, but I take Merigen twice a day. It's the most expensive one. Now, why do I do that? Because I know this. I am not going to be the majority. Where, guess what? Where the majority of the population will actually get a tune-up on their car 2 to 3 times a year, and they've never ever tuned up their body. Where the majority actually believes the only time you think about cancer is when somebody in the family gets it. The majority actually believes that the only time you think about your health is when you're on your way to emergency. The majority only thinks the only time you deal with pain, because pain is an enemy when it should be a friend and it should be your GPS. The only time you think about it is when you're trying to crack that bottle open to tell your body to shut up. So this is why when people want to do the SAC calcium, just call extension 5 if you want to know about the SAC calcium or the condition you have, and I'll take the time to go over it with you. This is why we do it that way. So in a lot of ways, even though it's not in our store and you could just make it easy, what we're doing is this is a very professional product, and we're keeping it professional. So, there's the downside and the upside to everything, isn't there? And if we look at the upside, we're just going to have a lot more fun with that. Okay. How long do you have? Okay, got it. Last one on here. Jean, Dr. Wolfe, my daughter has had bad plaque psoriasis. Definition: raised red patches covered with whitish buildup of dead skin cells called scale. Now her ankles are swelling. They say she may need chemotherapy. I'm so worried. Well, you know what? Worrying doesn't help you at all. And I will tell you something that you need to understand this. Psoriasis was eczema. Eczema was when it was a teenager. Now it's a full adult, so now it's psoriasis. The difference is the thicker the scales of the scabbing because of the more of the fungus and the pus that's oozing out of her skin. So understand the skin is the mirror of the large intestine, and understand this, that they probably gave her antibiotics to deal with the Candida, which only quadrupled its problem. Now, antibiotics are known as the baby of chemotherapy. So if she gets chemotherapy, yeah, it may kill off the psoriasis, and it's going to kill off a lot of other things too. And the chances are that it's not going to be good. So why don't you do your homework and find out what happened to people who complained about psoriasis too long and got chemo. Find out what happened to them, because I don't even want to tell you. You can look it up. You can do your own research, and your doctor should be telling you this. Now, if you want to get rid of the psoriasis, then what we got to do is the same thing. Create the perfect day. Get on a whole plant-based diet. Everybody, go to the perfect day and look at page 38. Whole plant-based diet, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And why don't you read the perfect day or watch the video? Okay, that's where everybody should start. And then if you want a coach, here we are. Now, psoriasis, okay, is a fungus infection, just as the same as toe fungus, athlete's feet, jock itch, vaginitis, sinusitis, ear problems, eczema, psoriasis. They're all part of the fungus family, and the main fungus of all of them is called cancer. Now, cancer is a fungal problem, and we know that. But it's not just a fungal problem. Along comes the parasites, the bad bacteria, the viruses, and everything else. It's just one big parasitical party. Okay? So, but everything is about environment. So we've got to bring up tissue integrity to bring up the immunity. So when you're asking me about your daughter, it's like this. Are you willing to do a consultation? Are you willing to trust us? Are you willing to give us, how about this? 6 weeks to 3 months, that's all I want for anyone. And most of the time, it's within 1 week, you're going to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe how far I came. But 6 weeks to 3 months, that's all I'm asking for anyone, any condition. 6 weeks to 3 months. Okay, so the reality is you're going to see your symptoms start to fade. Because understand, everything is about inflammation, scar tissue formation, crystallization, calcification, and then you lower the frequency in your tissue, and then guess what? The parasites move in, and fungus is a living parasite. And she's got so much of it, drilling holes through her large intestine into her bloodstream, it's oozing out her skin. So her cup runneth over. How's that? Same thing as when a tree dies. Okay, so let's make something perfectly clear. We all have yeast, but we don't all have fungus. And the reality is this, is that the same thing with the tree, where you see the tree have all the holes in it, the one that fell down, that's because it died, right? The tree died. And so now the microorganisms are going to come in and eat up the tree and make it back into soil. That sounds normal, doesn't it? Well, guess what? When you get too much antibiotics in your food that you eat, and when you get too much antibiotics in your so-called healthcare program, okay, then what happens is antibiotics vibrate below zero. So antibiotics vibrate below zero. Did you get that? Meat vibrates at zero, antibiotics below. And then essential oils are really high. The SAC calcium blowing high. Okay, our Fulvic is blowing high. Our ATP is higher than that. So the reality is everything has a frequency. So now antibiotics, like all drugs have a frequency below zero, and they turn on the death vibe. Oh, what's that? The death vibe actually will take the yeast, turn it into fungus, and say that you're dying or you're dead. And then guess what? It says, okay, let's drill holes in you and let's eat up the body. So your body's fighting for its life. There's fungus. That's the only way I can explain it. Vern, what are your thoughts on music, Dr. Wolfe? Well, actually, I think music's amazing. I'm going to have Michael Tyrell come on. Michael Tyrell has whole tones. And take a look at whole tones. Go to his website. And he's got the most beautiful music in the world for helping to heal and helping to get you out of depression and just help you with so many different things. Okay? For frequency therapy, earth music, absolutely. Angelina, do you know much about Morgellons? Yes, Morgellons, it's the informal name of a self-diagnosed, scientifically unsubstantiated skin condition in which individuals have sores that they believe contain fibrous material as an itchy patch, but no sores. And if so, okay. So if I know about it, how can it be cured? Well, first of all, I heard about negative ions, positive, negative energy, magnetic energy, borax, dishwashing liquid. Okay, so I know that people have this, and I don't think it's unsubstantiated. I know they have it. It exists. And we've had people use what's called a sentient element, okay? Called a sentient element. It's the strongest PEMF device. You can go to my website and to shop and click on there, and then go to EMF /energy. That's where everything is, like my Tesla glasses, my protectors for 5G, Bioptron light. But you'll find the sentient element there. Go click on and watch the video that the inventor I did with him talking about it, because you can put any frequency into this PEMF sentient element and it will go in and knock out different types of microbes in the human body that shouldn't be there. And anybody who actually gets one of these, we actually will consult them free and get their diet together, get them emotionally together so that they can move forward with their life. Now, I'm not trying to sell you one of those, but you can take a look at that. But the reality is that you have to bring your vibration up on all levels. I'm going to tell you something right now. Do you know how many people are saying they got Lyme's and they don't have Lyme's? Do you know how many people are actually getting sick because they have a different disease called victimitis? Do you know how many people are getting COVID that actually have victimitis? Okay, so I'm not poking here, people. I'm not poking. But the thing is that you underestimated the healing of your body. And understand something. if you talk down to yourself, if you were physically, sexually, or emotionally beaten as a child, chances are you're going to have every disease in the book, but you'll pick the one that matches your dysfunctional beliefs because it's ruling your personality. So please never ever forget this. And I'm not downing you, okay? Because I had to work so hard on my personality. I'm serious. I had to work really hard, and I'm still working hard on it every day. Living on this planet, I'll never ever have it totally perfected, but I am getting there. But the thing is that we know that the subconscious is unlimited for its growth. So I'll always be growing, always trying to become a better person. And we can't know better till we do better. But just think about the way you talk to yourself. Think about the way you treat yourself. Think about the way you let others treat you. Think about the way you allow things, even things you think about. You know what? Life is like a river. And, if I see a big turd floating down the river, it's not mine. It's going. If I see a beautiful flower, that's mine, and I'm going to focus on it. So where does your focus go? Because where your focus goes, grows. That's all I want to say. So understand something. When we always want to deal with the physical aspect of an illness, and we do not want to deal with the emotional, invisible aspect, we miss the whole game. And they should all both come together. Teamwork makes the dream work. Debbie, would SAC calcium help bad knees? Absolutely. When you come here with bad knees, and what we'll do is we will do a half an hour to a 40-minute treatment on one knee and not do it on the other. And that one knee in 40 minutes is actually going to feel like it has no problem. And I'm going to be putting up, when are we putting up the Gail testimonial? Tomorrow. Okay, watch this testimonial. Okay, I'm just going to say something. Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Okay, 2 people helped her get into the clinic. She stayed in the condo. You come to us, you stay in our condo, overlooks the mountains, the lake. It's so beautiful. You get to watch the deer come up and steal the bird seed. But the reality is she got to use all the energy medicine. She came over for the treatment. And by the 3rd day, she was walking into the clinic with no help. In and out and going quickly. Okay? And wait till you see. Watch this. Bad knees. Forget it. You don't have bad knees. You got scar tissue in your knees and crystallization. We can get rid of that. Got it in your hips, got it in your spine, got it in your ankles, got it in your neck. Okay, got it in your jaw. Okay, where do you got it? You got it everywhere, girl. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. The average 40-year-old has 10 to 20 blocks throughout their body. Okay? The average child today has 10 blocks throughout their body. I mean, gosh, you know what? Whether you believe this or not, but it's something like it's over 60% of the children now have a chronic disease. So how much scar tissue do they have? Okay, so it's a scar tissue issue, and it's an inflammation problem because we are a nation of inflammation. Oh, like you didn't figure that one out? Look at the fear that got you going. They're not going to get me going. They can go on there and threaten the living crap out of me, what they're going to do. I mean, either you believe the disease or you believe that they're going to steal your children. I mean, one or the other. I mean, these are really nice people, eh? What do you think of that? So thanks to our government. Thanks for not holding the line. Oh, and thanks a lot, everybody out there, for not voicing and saying no more. And you know what? Why don't we just stop buying the poisons that they feed us and they put in the drinks? Why don't we just go through our whole house and just stop and say no to all these corporations and let them crumble and stop giving them our money? Okay, our hard-earned money, eh? Okay, so anyways, SAC calcium is definitely going to help your knees. The reality is the SAC calcium will take away the pain, help remove the calcium, but you may still have stiff knees. How would you like to have knees of a young teenager? You heard what I said. Okay, Iris, can the Avacen be used on people with blood thinner? Yes, it can. Absolutely. Okay, it can. What we're doing is we're increasing microcirculation. We're increasing oxygen levels. We're increasing the nutrient uptake. Absolutely. And the Avacen, if somebody's thinking of getting it, just know that we support you with $500 a product when you get it. We're the only company that will do that. Because if anybody's going to invest into an Avacen, we're going to invest into you. All right? And an Avacen, just so you know, people, I don't have it here, but I will show it during this week, during the fasting, so people see what it is. But it's only this big. You put your hand in it. 3 out of 4 people will fall asleep. People who can't sleep at night, boom. It teaches you how to go into a parasympathetic state. It doesn't just do that. It increases the microcirculation in the human body by 66%, 100% more than any other energy medicine device or even a hyperbaric chamber. Go figure that out. And when you put your hand in it, it puts you into a parasympathetic state within 3 to 4 minutes. Wow, it's my favorite. Anyways, yeah, that's the Avacen. You can see that if you go to EMF/energy. Just click on shop and then go there and you can check it out. Watch the video that we did. Okay, number 5, Lynn. Hi, Doc. I get headaches every day. Well, Lynn, are you drinking structured water? You might want to add some magnesium, like a mag infusion, to your diet, and also how are your bowels moving. And tell me, who's the terrorist in your house? Is it you? Are you terrorizing your mind, or are you terrorizing yourself? Did you turn the Wi-Fi off last night? And is the microwave out of your house? And do you put your phones on airplane mode when you go to bed? And are your phones on airplane mode most of the time, or are they very close to you? All right. So I'm a whole plant-based diet. That's good. No caffeine. Any ideas? What could be causing this? Understand something, everybody. Guess what does cause a lot of headaches? It's frozen occiput. So if you live near us, or if you're in Florida, Orlando area in September, or November, California, or Mexico in February, or you come up here, we're going to work on your occiput area, and we're going to unfreeze it. Because a lot of people, every time, did you ever notice when you get a migraine headache, it's usually the same thing all the time, and it's the same energy block? Well, that's a scar tissue calcification problem. Now, if we get that block out of there, then the energies be able to flow in the body a lot better. And believe it or not, take a look at your water. Are you drinking at least 3 quarts of water? Is it structured water? I would put Tummy Love in it. I would also make sure that you're taking mag infusion 3 times a day, because maybe you're just stressing yourself out a lot. Are you taking vitamin D? Are you also doing iodine? Take a look at our infinite iodine, because the thyroid really plays a big part in there as well. And remember something, most headaches are stress, okay, if you're on a plant-based diet. Kelly, everybody, yeah, for sleeping and for sleeping and for headaches, do the belly button therapy. Go to DIY. Everybody, you can go to DIY, which is do-it-yourself guide in my library, and go watch the clapping your heart and lungs for health. And then also go into the DIY and take a look at the belly button therapy. And everybody, if you've got pelvic problems or you want to really get yourself in shape, take a look at the pelvic squat activation and take a look at the pelvic enhancer. I can't go through all that today right now, but if you go to the library, you'll see it. Kelly, what are your feelings on becoming a breatharian? Well, first of all, you know what? I haven't met any true breatharians, okay? They say they exist, but understand something, most of them don't. And that's where everybody, I'll tell you what a breatharian is. It's where people claim that they're living off of breathing the air. And I'll tell you something right now. A breatharian, you know what? I think I like to hydrate myself on structured water, and I'm going to have my blender drink and my large salad every day at least. That's as close to a breatharian as I'm going to come. All right. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm a physical human being. I'm a spirit having a physical experience, and that's what I'm here to do. And I'm going to have a physical experience. I'm not going to eat a lot, but I'm going to eat some. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to drink bad things, but I'm going to drink good things. So the reality is, no, I don't want to be a breatharian. And I've met a lot of people that said they were, but they were also sneaking things. Okay, all right, Mary. I was told not to use a metal spoon to scoop out the pure and clean, but to use a plastic wooden spoon. A metal spoon doesn't matter with the pure and clean. That's diatomaceous earth, everyone. It's not going to offset it, okay? What are your thoughts on this? No, you don't need to. If you want to use a steel or a wooden or a plastic, it doesn't matter with that. When it comes to things like our silver bullet liquid, I would tell you to use like a plastic, not a steel spoon, okay? Nazreen, why would you structure spring water? Okay, because when you buy spring water in a bottle, I didn't say a spring. If you live by a mountain and the water's coming down the mountain and you get that's structured water. When you get a spring is where water bubbles up from a spring, Okay, there's different. There's mountain water, there's spring water. Spring water comes from the ground, it's not structured. So is it unhealthy? I never said that. No, it's healthy. But the reality is, if you structure it, bam, you just put a jetpack on it. Okay, because now you're going to have a hydration of 1,000% more. That means 10 times more, 1,000% more. So that means you're going to hydrate faster and easier into the cells. You're not going to take any energy to get that water in there. You do know that even spring water, you have to digest it. Mountain water that rushes down and gets bounced around the rocks, that comes structured. Not spring water. Spring water comes up from the ground. It's not structured. Okay? And the other thing is, you better watch yourself. Spring water could be taken near farmland. Talk about pesticides and chemicals, and what about Monsanto? All right? Okay? So understand, you don't know where the spring is coming from. So I would always structure spring water. All right? Now, are you ready for this? The water will still come down off the mountain, still can have heavy metals and chemicals in it, but understand something, once it's structured, it won't hurt you. Did you hear what I just said? So that means even if there's little parasites in it, it won't hurt you. Did you hear what I said? So understand something, when I go to Mexico, I'll do right from the tap. You can't trust the water anyways if you buy bottled water. What do I look like a nut? And then I'm going to buy it in a plastic bottle, which is carcinogenic? I'm not going to do that. Okay, and if I did do it, I'm definitely going to have to run it through. But then I'm still going to taste the plastic, even though the structuring would help to protect me against that. I'd rather take it right from the tap. And trust me, I travel all over the world, and I put structured water under taps. And people say, well, you're crazy. Yeah, well, I know I am. I am. You can be either insanely miserable or insanely happy on this planet. So I'm just some of that and then some of the crazy too. Abram, hi. Our daughter has a 1 centimeter bump under her chin, under the skin, that she can move a little. Sometimes it hurts. What are your thoughts? I don't know. So is it spongy? Is it hard? Okay. If you want, you can send me, if you would call me at 855-900-4544 extension 5, I will give you my cell number, and you will go send me a picture, and then I want you to feel it, and maybe we'll do a FaceTime, and I want you to move it around, and I want you to tell me what it feels like, and then I can tell you how we can get rid of it. There's the deal. Because depending on what it's made out of will depend on what we're going to do. How's that sound? All right? So, it's like this, like I told everybody. As long as you're willing to play detective. So if you've got a little bit of that detective in you, then you're just going to rock the show. Susan, I take Lugol's iodine daily, now have been for 11 years. Is the type you recommend? No. Okay, Lugol's iodine is like a colloidal iodine, right? It's colloidal. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's good. So you got colloidal iodine, right? Okay. Then what you do is you've got nano iodine. Then you've got pico. These are so much smaller. These are like you've got colloidal, then you've got nano, which is thousands times smaller. Then pico, which is 1,000 times smaller than that. And then you've got our iodine that's mainly a gas. We have to have special bottles to put this in. Now understand something. It's because we have to protect it because it's more of a gas. You can, if you spray our iodine on your body, you don't have to take it. It'll just go in like that. You can spray our iodine on things like that you don't like tumors or eczema or psoriasis, or you can spray it anywhere and absorb it, and you can never OD on it. So it's not going to cause that kind of problem. It's special, and you can read about it. Right now, we don't. The iodine will be up on the shelf because of the whole C thing. Okay, we have a special pump. And believe it or not, we have been unable to get our pump because of where it's made. Okay, we had to get a new pump, so we're actually working for it, waiting for it. And when we get that pump, it'll be up on the shelf, and that could take about 4 to 6 weeks. And that's honest. Okay, it's just like our Sononian minerals. They're the most amazing one-a-day supplement that you could ever take, especially in minerals. And they'll be back up on the shelf in 10 days. All right? Diana, would you think of ionic foot baths? Okay, I do them after sports, massage, or ralphing session on my clients. You know what? I think that it's great, but the whole thing about the colors and all the stuff that's in the water, that's not true at all. That's a fallacy. So I'm just going to tell you that. I was into foot baths before anybody was into foot baths. I used to sell what was called an aqua-chi. I don't use that energy medicine anymore because I believe there's much more powerful things to do. So I'm not downing it. I think if it fits in your clinic, that's a wonderful thing. But the reality is, if you're telling people that certain colors or certain minerals or toxins or heavy metals coming out and all that stuff that's in the water, that's not true. I'm just going to tell you that right now. That's made up. But does it actually go in and electrically charge the cells? Absolutely. Kelly, do you have an opinion on Cape Aloe? How about Shilajit? Okay. I think Shilajit is great. Cape Aloe, I don't know Cape Aloe. And if it's just an aloe vera that's made by a company, I don't know it. And I will tell you, there's a lot of aloes out there, and a lot of them are not that great. And there are companies that, I used to get one that was called T-Up. It's not made anymore. And I'll tell you, T-Up was an aloe that would blow your mind. And I actually used to use it in my clinic. I used to do ozone therapy before even anybody ever did ozone therapy. And I'm serious. That's how long ago. I did it. I was the first person doing ozone therapy in Toronto, Canada. I had a clinic there. And we were also using T-Up, and we were working on HIV patients. And Walter Krotz, he was the father of hydrogen peroxide. I was doing hydrogen peroxide therapy before anybody knew it or thought it was cool. Also, Ed McCabe, who's still alive, he used to come there and lecture with me. And he used to lecture with me when I was only 29, 28 years old. And we'd be lecturing together. So, yeah, I've been around the block, eh? So, yeah, there's some good aloes. There's some good aloe paste for ulcers. But a lot of the aloes are just knockoffs. They're not well done. Okay? To have a good aloe, it costs good money. Cindy, my husband has essential thrombocytopenia. Okay. Definition: an uncommon disorder in which your body produces too many blood platelets and has it for almost 20 years. He just stopped taking hydroxyurea, 500 milligrams, 4 capsules a day. Definition: often used to treat chronic illness such as cancer in the head and neck, but can cause severe decrease in the number of blood cells in your bone marrow. Not good. He just had to stop taking it because his red blood cell count started coming back low after blood work. Doctor doesn't know if it is because of the medication or something else. Did you hear what I just did? I just read the definition, and the doctor doesn't know because the doctor's not allowed to say. Because guess what? It was supposed to be do no harm. Doctor hopes it's just the medication, and they will try another medication, if the red blood cell count goes up after stopping. If not, then we have to do another bone marrow test to try to figure out what is causing the low red blood cell count. Are there any other options to try and keep his platelet count down naturally? I would appreciate this. Thank you. I would suggest that you do a perfect day consultation. And I review all the consultations before they're done. And also after they get done, then I'm here to support you with the master consultant. And I'm telling you, we support you. So understand, you know what I say? Always do as much as you can naturally and take massive personal action. I'll tell you right now, if you and your husband actually took massive personal action, you would see the impossible become I am possible. And I'm telling you that right now. Why did we ever give up on the human body? Why did we ever give up on what God created? And we really have. So I'll just, do you think you could do anything? No, I think that you could do everything. That's what I think. YouTube, what do you recommend for someone who's had a tummy tuck? Well, for one thing, if you've had a cesarean or a tummy tuck, good luck pooping, good luck digesting, good luck having a life. Okay? And if you get any type of surgery, whether it's a tummy tuck or a cesarean, or you get like carpal tunnel syndrome surgery, or you get hip surgery, knee surgery, do I have to keep going? Appendix surgery, the scar tissue that's left is going to cause more damage afterwards. The body always overcompensates with scar tissue crystallization and calcification, and in one treatment we can turn that around that you're going, oh my God, I can breathe again, I can live again. Do you know how many women will get tummy tucks and the actual scars from the tummy tuck, the scar roots. They're like roots. They will wrap themselves around the intestines. They'll even wrap around the pubic bone. They'll even go down as far as the ovaries with cesareans, and they'll actually cause you to be choked off, that you can't pee, not poo right, that even making love is uncomfortable. Or if you move, you'll always be in pain, and you'll just feel like there's this lead brick inside of you. Well, we can get rid of that, okay? What are the best things to get rid of the scar tissue on your own? Good luck with that. No. Wolfe non-surgical, and this is not a pitch, because guess what? I'm the only one that offers a money-back guarantee, and I'm the only one that I know of around the world, I've been around for 40 years, that does this. No. So you're going to have to, you know what? It's like this. You could come here with your husband. You could come here with your family. We could teach you and your family how to do this. And you could work on every muscle and every joint in the body to help each other out. And spend a few $1,000s and become the masters of your body and the masters of your mind and know how to look after yourself. Or you can come here, and if you came here and we did a tummy tuck, a Wolfe non-surgical treatment, or it was a cesarean or whatever, in the first 2-hour treatment, you are going to go, oh my God, why wasn't I here sooner? Why didn't I take the flight? Why didn't I come? Why didn't I have one of your master trainers come down and teach my family, come down for 5 days and teach us all how to do this so we could just take our life back instead of being physical cripples? And that's the bottom line. And that's not a sales pitch, because guess what? Go take a look at the testimonials on that one. If you want testimonials, go to ITIOH.com, International Training Institute of Health.com, where you're going to find all about my certifications, whole life coach course certification, which anybody can come and take. And if you've been a practitioner for 30 years, I'll give you a money back guarantee, 40 years, that when you come here, I'm going to teach you more in that 8-day whole life coach certification than you've learnt the whole time. And you think that's big of me? Well, guess what? Wait till you see the testimonials on the last course I just did, or every other course on Whole Life Coach, where people have said I've taken 4 or 5 Whole Life Coaches, and then they've come and taken ours. And the other thing is, or you can come and you can do the certification, which is 11 days with the Wolfe non-surgical, okay? And we'll teach you the most powerful body work in the world. And I'll prove it. And I don't mind. I would like everybody to challenge me that I don't have that most powerful body work in the world. Okay? Because that's how we get it out there. I want people to challenge me, because I want the challenge to come on, because I want the world to know that the world can heal itself, and that you do not have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, go to school for years, okay, to unleash that practitioner from within. And that's the God-given truth. Susan, what do you think about fatty? This will be the last one. I've got to 15. There's another 17 questions. They will come up on Wednesday's show. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be live, and I will be doing those. Okay. Susan, what do you think about fatty lipoma definition? So, slow-growing fatty lump that's most often situated between your skin and the underlying muscle layer. Okay, what do I recommend? Have done 9 months of light therapy. Years ago, I did some injections of soy first by a skin doctor. I did this twice. Okay, first of all, I need to know more. How much do you weigh? Most of the time, you're overweight. Second thing is, I wouldn't be eating pork, I'll tell you that. You want to get those suckers? Eat pork. Pigs don't sweat. They're very infectious. It'll make it worse. Fatty lipomas are also known as the home and breeding ground for worms and parasites. Second thing, we got to look at the colon. We got to look at detoxifying the liver. And I had a doctor that was he's from Europe. And this doctor had probably about, I would say, 50, 60 of them. And what we did was we did the non-surgical work, the body work, deep tissue, and he actually learned it. But what he did was he actually brain fart. He actually the best thing he ever did was doing the advanced water fasting. Okay, so the body could actually go in and start eating up these things and getting rid of them, because when you do an advanced water fast, what your body does is eat up the things you really shouldn't have in there. Okay, That's it, folks. I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom. So can you make a marker on that we went to 17? Okay. And I want to thank everybody for joining me. And this was like 2 hours. And if I were to keep on answering the questions, we would be here for quite a while. All right, so let me just go through a couple things if that's okay with everyone. Starting Tuesday, July the 14th, that's tomorrow, advanced water fasting starting at 10 a.m., okay? And then I will be here with you at 10 a.m. every day till Friday and then Monday and Tuesday as well, okay? And I'll be answering your questions live. Wednesday, July 15th, it's called The Missing Link, the Calcium Connection with Jay Lee at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then on Thursday, we're going to answer all your questions. So if you've got questions already, you can put them down under this show right now, and we'll collect them and we'll just add it to the Q&A on Thursday with him. Okay, and if you're interested in a consultation, please go to docofdetox.com, click on consultation tab, and then take a look at all the different trainers we have, and then pick the trainer, the master consultant that you think best suits you. Okay, and just know that you'll have me on your team as well. Okay, and what else? Oh, if you go to quick start at docofdetox.com, I'll send you my 7 empowering steps. And for those of you who still like to read, okay, you can call in and get my book for free. Just pay the shipping. All right, there you go. Okay, something for you to read. And what else did I want to say? And don't forget, everyone, every Monday we're doing live Q&As here. And don't forget that when watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe below and make sure that you click on the bell to enable notifications so that you never miss a show. And please share this show with people, okay? Like our shows and share our shows. And like I said, they'll never be commercials, okay? At the end of every show, we do put up where you can find free information, okay? And where you can get my free master classes, like the A to Z master class, what teaches you everything about your physical body and what the medical system would do and what we will do for you and why you get into trouble in that part of your body. And actually in the A to Z master guide, how would you like to go in there and find out what emotion causes what disease? How would you like to go in and find out what organ, okay, is connected to what emotion? So you'll find that in my Perfect Day as well. You'll also find that in my Braveheart Way. And you'll also find that in the A to Z Wellness Masterclass, which I'll show you videos on how we work on the body and why we do what we do. And just know this, all our shows are, and all our Q&As are time-stamped so that you can actually go to YouTube 24 hours later and take a look at the topic or the question that you've been wanting to do without having to watch me over again. Wouldn't that be something? Okay, and also if you wish to listen to the audio version of our show, just go to iTunes, Spotify, or SoundCloud. Okay, wow, and it's 5:04, and I just love you that much more, okay? God bless everyone, and just remember, 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, it's the new me. 3, 2, 1, I am not going to let their BS scare me anymore. God bless everyone. Take back your power. Better still, let's not give it away because you've got lots of it. All right? Have a beautiful night. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't click